Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning for us anyway. Not sure when you're watching this, but welcome back to another episode of I Am That Bitch podcast. And I'm your host, Val Vee. And I have the stunning Boz with me today. Welcome, girl.
Hello, thank you, thank you.
How are you?
Excited to have a chat with you.
I can't wait. So we're new friends, right?
Yes.
And we met, actually, first, before we even go into that, I want you to introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
So my name is Sara Boswick. Folks call me Boz. And by day, my day job is the operations manager at M2L Bridal, which is an exclusively curvy and plus size bridal shop here in Toronto. And I also have an Instagram page that is dedicated to empowering women, specifically encouraging people to, flip fear the bird and just like fucking do it. So
I love it.
those that's kind of
What
me
you
in that.
do. I absolutely love that. First of all, I didn't know that you worked at a bridal store. I saw some of the posts, like I thought, oh, okay. I thought you just worked with them or whatever, but I didn't know that you had like you're there. And I love that. And I have to say, I wish I knew that, how long has that store been open?
It's quite young, so it's only been open for 3 years. The owners are Monica and Laura, and it's called M2L, More to Love. It's a really cool play on words, but it's definitely a niche market that needs to be served. And we're not just open to have some plus size gowns and be like, okay, we filled this niche of the market. We definitely are serving up like a luxury service. Like you are going to feel good when you come to the shop. So
Oh,
I love my job.
I wish it existed 20. I'm going to be married 20 years. Now, I love the girls that I bought my dress from. I knew what was going to fit my body type. I was bigger then. I had a bigger belly. And I loved my dress. But it was very, very hard. I didn't even know that we were going to talk about this right now, but I was in one. Okay, you ready for the trauma? It's fucking coming, Boz.
Let's go. Let's go.
I went into a store. Actually, I was a bridesmaid at my cousin's wedding, and I went to go put on a dress, and the owner fucking banged on the door and said, "Give me back my dress. You're gonna fucking rip it because you're too
No.
fat." And I knew my size. I knew it was gonna fit me. And this guy, I was so fucking embarrassed and traumatized because I had just gained all this weight, and no doctor could help me. My thyroid wasn't being, diagnosed,
Mhm.
and anyway, a ripple effect of a whole bunch of shit. And this is me now, but I love who I am today. I I I'm constantly working on my body, as everybody does, whether you're skinny, you're chubby, you're fat, whatever. I think everybody has body issues.
Yeah.
So a store, especially for one of the most important days of your life,
Yeah.
to walk in and be treated like royalty, I just got chills.
Yee.
I'll have to come and experience. I wish I could get married all over again, but
There's always renewals. There's always renewals.
he doesn't want to do it. He's like, "No, fuck it. Let's go take a trip. We're good." Like we're Greek. We don't even have vows.
Oh.
So when you walk into a Greek church and you get married, you don't fucking speak. You just go.
Well, you can do your own thing. I think that's what I see a lot of is people just doing their own thing and realizing, it's about the relationship together and their partners, and that it can get very convoluted when you take into account all of the different culture and different expectations. And I think some couples have just decided like we're just doing what we want to do as a team,
Yeah.
partnership, and I think that's really, really great to see as well.
I think that's awesome. And I follow you. I love everything that you do ever since I met you. Um, and your body positivity is it's exceptional. Like you really put yourself out there, and that takes a lot of balls. How did you get to that fucking point?
Yeah, it's for me, it's very much about body autonomy and owning my body and realizing on this earth that's pretty much the only thing that we truly own. And so from that aspect, realizing that this is the only vessel that I have to experience this world,
Yeah.
Like, who is anybody to say anything
Wow, that was
to
pretty
me
deep, actually. Sorry, I'm
about
totally cutting you off. Like, I almost want to cry. If fucking,
that?
this is the only vessel I have to experience this world. Like, oh my God. Okay, sorry. That I don't. Okay, continue. That was obviously moving for me. Sorry, I interrupted. Continue.
Yeah. But it's true, and that is where this my confidence and kind of how I walk through the world, that's the mentality that I have, because we're born into this world and we have one body, and it's the body that we're given, and we don't have any choice in it. Chemically and hormonally, our body's different from each other as human beings. There's all of these external factors and internal factors as well that affect how our body reacts to the environment and just how we exist in the world. And very much of it is out of our control. And so, all of this nuance in this conversation about, what we're supposed to look like and these body standards that we're supposed to have, or we're supposed to fit into these boxes. First of all, that's boring as fuck. If we all looked the same, like, oh my,
Right?
gross. But it's just this additional pressure to meet these ridiculous expectations. And I also realized that once I started kind of settling into my own and settling into my body and just owning it, and it didn't matter what I looked like, I started to enjoy life more. And I also started to treat myself better.
Oh,
There's so much about weight, and again, this societal expectation of what we're supposed to look like, and looking a certain way means you're healthy, and that's not true. We also have to take into account mental health, and how many folks that are in bigger bodies that have tried and tried and tried to fit into this box of like being skinny, and skinny is healthy and all of that stuff, have gone through like mental turmoil trying to get there, and how damaging all of that mental health and the psychology behind trying to fit into a certain body type to look healthy, it's so negative. And it's, you have to count mental health and physical health together. And if you're focused specifically on getting into a certain body, that can take a toll on mental health as well. And so I think it's a balancing act overall.
well, I completely understand what you're saying, because so I didn't grow up chubby. I was very fit. I worked out 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. I was a dancer without a brass pole. But what I know now, had I known back then, I would have been on the fucking pole. Truly. But I was a dancer, right? And I was fit, and I legit just woke up fat one day. Like, you can ask my brothers, my cousins, they're like, it just boom, it just happened. And the doctor's like, well, you got to lose weight. And I'm like, I'm not eating. Like, I wasn't eating. And she was like, what did you eat today? I said, a slice of toast.
Yeah.
And I went through a whole bunch of like menstruation, like menstrual stuff. And she's like, you got to keep, you got to lose weight, and then everything will go back to normal. I'm like, what part don't you understand? Like, I'm working out, I'm doing this, and I'm gaining weight. Nobody could help me. And then finally, I went to another doctor and I begged for them to test my thyroid, and that was underactive. And I thought, oh, great, that's going to fix everything.
Yeah.
No, well, it didn't, because then there's PCOS and all this other shit. And then I went through fertility, and that fucked up my hormones and body
Mm-hmm.
now. So, hormonally, I want to fix my body. Am I comfortable and happy with who I am? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. If you don't like me, there's the door. I don't give a shit, right? My husband loves me. We're good. We're happily married for 20 years together, 21. We're good, right? Um, but I want to do this for me. But the mental anguish of constantly being, oh, like, I had Sarah Taylor on, and she does body positivity too, and she's a plus size model as well. And people would always say, oh, you'd be so much cute if you just lost some weight, or you'd be prettier if you just, I had that as well, right? And people were like, oh, Val, you've gained weight. It's like, yeah, I fucking know. You don't think I see? Like, you know what I mean? It's torture. And people know, like, they just don't give a fuck. And it just comes out, which, okay, I get it, because I do the same thing. But I don't go after people's weight or anything like that, right? So yeah, I get the hardships for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, you got me down a path today.
I'm not where to be sorry or like, that's fine.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I got to stop looking at this camera and keep looking here. So, we met at Speaker Slam, right? I want to get into that. We met the day I competed,
You did, yes. Yeah.
the day I won.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it, actually. Yeah, you were sitting with Rena, and I thought, oh my God, this chick's beautiful. Like,
Oh, we
like
froze up.
your energy, everything I was drawn to for sure. And I have this conversation with Rena, like, we really love being around strong women.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that and I sensed that from you because I think we had an instant connection, you and I.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But you're competing.
I am competing in just a couple of weeks. In just a couple of weeks. So it's
That's exciting. Are you nervous? Are you ready?
I'm very, very nervous. I actually, the night that you spoke,
Yeah.
like I think again, we kind of had that instant connection. And then I saw you up on stage, and I think the first line of your speech was like, fuck human connection. I
It
was like,
was.
I'm interested. Like, I want to see this.
It caught your attention.
And I also turned to Rena. I was like, "I'm sorry. We're allowed to swear. I'm allowed to just talk because that's kind of how I talk as well. It's like I say fuck all the time, and
Yeah.
so I feel like it could be more authentic if I can swear." So I think literally that night I went home and I was like, "No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Here we go." And I signed up. Interestingly enough, this is the third time I've signed up. I have
No,
chickened
really?
out. I've chickened out 2 times. I've
Oh,
chickened out
boss.
2 times. So this time it's fucking happening.
You're doing it.
And I'm actually very psyched. And I got some support this time that I didn't ask for previously. And I think that's really, really made a difference. And the story and just everything that came together, I think this is actually just the right time. I
What's
don't,
the topic?
pardon?
What's the topic?
The topic is perseverance,
Oh,
which is
great.
it's ironic because again, I've chickened out twice, so like I'm really going. Um,
This is brilliant. I
yeah,
hope that's in your speech, though. Did you put that in your speech?
no,
Don't tell us. Actually,
no,
don't tell
I'm
us.
not gonna I'm not gonna get into the details, but
No,
it,
no.
you know, I'm bringing a lot of vulnerability to my speech, which has gotten me a little bit nervous. But I think that the story that I'm going to tell is one that is both relatable and important. And it's emotional for me. But I also think that it's an important story to tell because, as I said, I do think that it's relatable. And I do think that, hearing relatable stories of struggle,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, is important. And knowing that people come out on top and on the other side is even more important because when you're in the struggle, it's so difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's so difficult to believe that things can get better or that there is a positive future for you. So I'm really interested to see all of the speeches on this topic for that exact reason. But that is like the teensy little bit that I'm going to say about the speech.
I'm excited. I'm going to try to be there for that one. I want to come out and support you. Just with everything going on here, it's a little bit hard. When is it? July?
July 16th. So it's a Tuesday night at Lula Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm
I
really
told
excited. Yeah.
Sorry, you should be excited. You should enjoy every moment. Truly. So basically our stories are the same because I went to the January 28th competition. It was about reinvention and I got called up. Tristan put my name in the bucket
Oh, okay.
and I got up for inspirational talk for 2 minutes. And I came home, like I was literally so fucking excited, Boz. I was doing a live driving on the QEW coming
Oh,
home.
God.
And I'm like, oh my God, this was great, blah, blah, blah. And I come home and I actually just recorded my journey about going on Speaker Slam before we got on here. I get on the driveway and my husband's coming out with the dog. I'm like, babe, I'm going to fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I said, this is how, and and it just started downloading, right? Like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. And I said, I'm going to start it, fuck human connection. And then the middle is going to be fuck human connection. And at the end, it's going to be, fuck human connection. I said, I have no idea what's going to be in the middle, but that's my fucking speech. And I came in, I signed up, and 2 days later, I couldn't sleep. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, Boz. I came down with the laptop and I was like, I started typing it out. Tony came down around 7 o'clock and I read on the speech and he had a tear in his eye. I'm like, that's it. It's done. And then I call Rena and Tony's like, can you swear? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Because then I call Rena and she's like, well, there hasn't been a lot of people that have sworn on stage. I said, but can I do it? She goes, well, we don't say that you can't. And I'm like, well, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm coming out there, baby.
I think that it can have an impact, especially when it's coming off as being authentically you, which it definitely is. But it was so powerful, and it was like such a hook at the very beginning of that speech. And it made sense. Like, it made sense to have that kind of impact and that kind of powerful language.
Thanks,
it wasn't
God.
just kind of like willy-nilly fucks and this and that. It made sense. So I think it was really powerful, and the way that you presented it was powerful.
Thank you.
And the message was powerful as well. So to me, it made sense that you were going to win. I was like, oh no, that's it.
My husband's like, what if you don't win? And I'm like, me being on that stage is a win. Like, I literally did this in 45 days, whatever that timeline from January 30, 2 months, say 2 months.
Yeah.
I didn't I never put myself out there at all. And I did it. And I'm so proud of myself. And I won. I can't believe it. But now the Grand Slam. So what position are you up? Like, are you going first, last, middle?
Third.
Oh, okay.
Third.
All right.
Yes. I'm glad I'm in the first half.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I can kind of relax a little bit, because I know myself, I get a little nervous.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You gotta do it anyways. You gotta feel that fear and do it anyways, right?
You got it, girl. If I'm there, just stare at me at the stage, out in the audience. You won't see any. You don't see anybody anyway.
Yeah.
You'll see the people on the sides, but people in front of you, because the lights are on you, you can't really see. And yeah, I wasn't nervous at all. But did I tell you my story about what happened to me 2 days before the event?
No.
Okay, so so on Sunday, the events are always on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I have a cannabis company, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at work on the weekends. I only work the weekends. And I said, oh, these nice, like, new flavors that came in. There was a peach lemonade. I said, I want to try this gummy, a CBD gummy, right? So I take it, I give it to another vendor. He takes it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, I feel like I have dry mouth. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's out of 1-to-1. I look at the package and it's 50 milligrams of THC.
Oh boy.
Then I start feeling it in my knees. Then, so I'm a lightweight when it comes to smoking. Like, I take a couple of hits. I enjoy smoking weed. I don't like the gummy effect, and now even more so. But I like a couple hits and I'm good. I love a sativa, makes me creative, it helps me clean my house, whatever, right? So I go to the guy across from me because I'm in a market. I said, Jimmy, I just took a 50 milligram gummy. And he goes, ignore it. He goes, just ignore it. I go, THC doesn't work like that, you idiot. I said, I said, get me to my car, close my booth, get me to my car, because I don't know what's going to happen. I've never taken this much THC, right? I get into the car, Buzz, and I'm already like, I know I'm high, but I'm still with it. I roll down my windows like a little bit just in case they need to unlock the car. And then if they don't want them to break the window, and then I have everything super loud just in case I fall asleep. So if they call me, it'll wake me up.
Oh my goodness.
I call my husband. I tell him, listen, this is what happened. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I said, clearly something. I'm high as fuck now. And I sat there like a zombie, just like,
oh no.
for like an hour. And every time I moved my hand, it was like digital, like do, 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 like this. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm forgetting how to fucking breathe. Oh my God, Val, breathe in. Val, breathe out. I'm talking to myself, right? So then I'm like, I'm in Barrie and I live in Ajax. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't sit in the car for fucking hours. I got to get home. So I have a really good friend of mine, Joey, and I call him and he calls me mama, right? And he goes, "What's up, mama?" And I'm like, I can barely get the words out. I'm like,
Oh man.
"I need you." And I'm like, he's like, "What's wrong?" And then the market manager's there. She took a gummy, and he's like, "Ah, you fucking greened out." Ah. And in my head, I'm like, "Why the fuck is he laughing? Why is he still talking? Why is he not in his car driving to come get me?" So he dropped everything, him and a buddy, and took my car with me and his buddy following, drove me from Barrie to Ajax, and got me home safely.
Oh man.
But I got to tell you, so I think so that was Sunday night. I slept like a baby. I think I still woke up high on Monday, but
Wow.
not like that. There was almost like a dome, like heaviness with this gummy. And I remember we're driving and it was like a switch went off. Like I point here because I felt like that's where it happened. A switch went off and I was still high, but I was clearer. Right. And I felt less of that on Monday.
Oh
But then
man.
Tuesday, my nerves were like this, just like I was listening to everybody's speech. I was just like, okay, come on, I want to get this done. Like, okay, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Like I was calm. I don't suggest that. This is not an endorsement to do this, but I might do it for the Grand Slam too.
If it works
maybe not,
for time, why mess with a good thing?
maybe not 50 milligrams though.
Oh man.
Fuck, I don't know how people do that. That's
Oh man.
crazy.
That's funny.
But yeah, don't be nervous. Don't you find being a part of this community is really exceptional?
It really is. It's really amazing to be with groups of people that, again, have such different backgrounds and different storylines,
Yeah,
but can verge and share those stories, and everyone finds kind of a piece of themselves in someone else. And I
yeah.
think that's really amazing. And I'm really grateful to be part of the community and be able to speak and also get feedback. I think overall, just being able to challenge myself in that way is really great. And as you said, it doesn't matter if I get on stage and I give the speech, that is a win in itself.
You did it. You're doing it. Like
Yeah,
that's amazing. I just did you watch Alana Moore's speech from last month?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God, you would remember it. So look it up. Her story, like you and I connected, her and I connected. Like it was unbelievable. And this is the kind of I said to Rena, I feel like being a part of this community, I am attracting people that um belong in my life. You know what I mean? Like that are real and strong and powerful and have a story. I love the girl that has a story, not the
Mhm.
princess that had everything handed to them. I love I just love the story, right? And Alana, she got up and she forgot her
Oh
speech.
no.
And she sat there and she was like, and I just remember her and I'm like, "Oh, I wanted to scream, you got this." But I didn't want to fuck with her train of thought. But
Right.
someone screamed, "You got this!" Like a guy screamed it, right? And then a second later, it like clicked, and then she continued, right?
Yeah.
Um, but
That got me chills. That gave me chills.
yeah, but her story, I was crying when she got off stage.
Oh.
I was crying. I was so moved by her story, and she's like, "I'm so pissed at myself." I said, "Are you crazy? Look at where you came from to where you are. You were on stage and you finished your story. No
Yeah.
matter what, you fucking stood there. You didn't run away. You
Yeah.
stood there and you fucking did it.
Yeah.
And that right there is a win.
Yeah.
Is a win in itself. So don't worry about anything. You got this, Boz. Like you
Thank
do you literally put yourself out there for everybody to see. But think about it. This is just a small room of people, right? How many views do you get on you literally are in a bikini? How many views did you get on that? How empowering is that?
it's different though. It's different. The energy is different when you're in a physical distance for someone to directly react to you versus uploading something to the internet and being able to put my phone down and walk away and whatever happens happens, right? There
I
is
get it, but I still think you're putting yourself out there. I just You are truly an inspiration. So I think you going on stage is just the next step. Like, you got this.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just proud that I'm going to actually take the step and get on stage. And the fear is something like what happened to Elena, where she lost her place or she didn't forget. But the triumph in that is she still completed it. And I
Yep,
don't know if she realizes it or not. She showed
she
her
does.
compassion and grace in that moment, that
Yep,
there's a time limit. So the clock is counting down regardless if you're talking or not. But she just completed it, and I think that's really admirable that she did that. And I really hope that she understands that she won in a different way than maybe the person that won the competition, but that's still, that in itself is inspirational. Just,
yep. She still placed third. She placed third still.
oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. No, yeah. So you got this, girl. You got this. I'm gonna do my best to be there on the 16th, 18th, 16th.
15.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best. I told Rena if I do come, it'll have to be last minute. But I can't wait. So if there's a young girl that's struggling with themselves, and I'm sure you get this
Mm.
asked this question all the time, what would you tell that little girl that's struggling with body image?
Ooh, ooh. It's that's It's a tough question. Sometimes I think back to my younger self and what I would tell myself,
What would
and
that be?
would I've actually listened, actually.
Hmm.
So I don't know that the best way to influence younger people is to tell them things. I
Hmm.
think the best way to influence younger people is to show them. I have a younger niece. Ooh, I'm getting emotional. I have a niece she just turned 4,
Hmm.
and she's seen some of my videos online, and I think she was like turning 3, and she watched one of my modeling videos over and over and over, to the point that to the music she was doing the actions, and she was
Oh,
singing and all of this stuff. And she would say to my mom, or her nana, she'd like, "Aunt Sass is so beautiful. Aunt Sass is so beautiful." And at the time, I was bigger than I am now. I was 350 pounds. And, it kind of like hit me that my younger niece is looking at a woman who is 350 pounds, and she sees something beautiful. She isn't seeing someone who is uh, fat or ugly or shouldn't be dressed nicely or doesn't have a place at the table. She just saw her Aunt Sass and thought she was beautiful and was mimicking her, and, was showing that she doesn't understand that it's our society currently doesn't think it's okay to be in a body like mine. So I really think that more than telling someone what they should do and how they should feel about their body, showing it is a much bigger factor. And like that, just when I saw her doing that, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, holy shit, there is a chance that she's not going to grow up feeling like she has to be super skinny to be beautiful and to be accepted.
mhm.
That was, to me, that's it. And I think that affects how I show up online and how I show up in real life. I don't want to preach to someone because I don't have everything figured out. Like, I think that would be
Do
hubris,
we ever?
that, that I have everything figured out or I know the secret to things. But if I can show up with confidence and show up as myself in the body that I have, I think that's the most impactful
I
personally.
love that. That was powerful. And rather than saying and then showing, and you do show up, and I hope that little girls see your page and see the confidence that you exude on your Instagram page. By the way, do you want to give your handle out so people can find you? I'll put it in the description too.
It's Boz the Bold. Some of the
I
content
love it.
is family friendly.
Listen, I know, but even if it doesn't have to be like a little girl, even a woman like me, just putting yourself out there and showing the confidence that you have, you're going to change someone's life, Boz. You know what I mean? Like it's going to happen, and I'm sure it already has for people. And I think what you're doing is exceptional, and I love it, and I don't want you to stop doing it.
I don't think I'll be stopping anytime soon, but
Good.
I appreciate that. And, you know, I think especially on Instagram and social media, everyone is interested in the likes and the views and how many people did I reach and all of that. And I think we can get caught up in that very quickly. But in all fairness, it's about the impact. If someone has watched a video and it's 200,000 views, but it really hasn't changed anything or it hasn't hit, then that's not as important to me as a video that has 500 views, but it really connected with someone and it might have
Right?
flicked a switch in their brain or, been relatable and they feel better about themselves. Like that truly is far more important to me than getting the big views. But if you
I
also
love it.
content, that's great.
I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I truly do. I will put all your information down below. This is on Spotify and YouTube. But I am so grateful that you came onto my podcast. Thank you so much. I want to wish you all the best
Thank you.
for Speaker Slam. I'm going to do my best to be there to come out and support my girl. Win it. All right. Take number one.
Well, I mean, you really inspired me. Like when I
Oh, thank
saw
you.
your energy on stage and the way that you presented, a lot of other motivational and inspirational speakers, I felt like I didn't really connect to. They have amazing stories and amazing messages, but I didn't feel like it was the right flavor for me. And so I didn't feel like it was the right scene for me. And then I watched you and I was like, I can fucking do this. I can fucking do this shit.
Well, that made my day. Thank you so much.
I'm doing it. So.
Well, then I have to be there on the 16th. I have to come out and support my girl. I'm going to do my best. I'm pretty sure I'll be okay to come. I'll talk to Rena to save me a spot at the table. Do you have a lot of people coming out, like your family and stuff?
I wasn't expecting there to be a lot of people for some reason, and just in the past couple weeks, I'm like, it's coming up, guys, and they're like, oh, I'm coming. I'm like, okay, I might need to get a few more tables. Can you just make sure, like let me know if you're coming for sure?
Yeah,
and I'm so grateful for that support. And
it's a good feeling. It really is a good feeling. I had 30 people come.
Yes, you had a huge group. You had a huge.
Yeah. It was good, but I'm going to do my best to come out and support you, girl. So you got this. Don't be scared. You got this.
Amazing to meet you, by the way.
It was amazing meeting you too. We have to do something in person though.
Yes,
we've got to do. All right, my beautiful new friend, absolutely stunning. Please go and follow her, guys, and then let's stay tuned to Speaker Slam and see where she places number one. You're gonna place
number one.
Okay, manifest. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay tuned for the next episode, and yeah, we'll chat later. See ya.
You.
Okay, let me just upload.